I'm not talking about how you feel. I'm talking about how I feel. What happened when I was there? DEI. A law degree, a master's, and 2 bachelors. Probably more education than all of y'all added up together.
People have literally no idea how the government works, is what I actually think.
Hurry up. All right, people, let's cut through the noise and get straight to the truth. Scott Jennings drops a truth nuke on the CNN panel, and they lost it.
Everything ready, Murdoch?
Artillery set to go boom, boom, Colonel.
The panel couldn't handle the fact that DEI is a failed ideology, and Jennings made them face reality. What you're about to witness is the most unhinged, race-baiting, excuse-laden meltdown ever caught on CNN. Check it out.
If race is not the issue, then why is DEI mentioned every
5
single day as a solution to every single problem that faces this
Because of how pervasive it is,
but do you
and
think
how
it's
hateful
really
it is
true?
to an actual conservative ideological view.
But do you think it is true that all of America's ills, from the plane crash to whatever it is, wildfires, due to DEI for real?
I think that if you believe in the fundamental principle of America, which is that we guarantee everybody an equal chance, not an equal outcome, but an equal chance, then trying to go around that principle, conservatives don't believe in it. And most people who believe in America don't believe in it, number one. Number two, the concept of not hiring the best person for the job in government or anywhere else has been repeatedly rejected by the American people, the Supreme Court, and everything else.
Here's the play-by-play. Scott Jennings lays out the facts. DEI is racist and anti-American. CNN panel, full-blown meltdown, desperately playing the victimhood violin. One panelist even brags about her degrees, talking about probably being the most educated at the table. Then plays the I'm always underpaid card. Make it make sense.
The issue in this country right now is we live in different realities.
That's right.
I live in a reality where I know I do not have the same opportunity as you. I know I don't.
And you know that
I know
too.
what, Scott?
I got it. And you know that.
Let me just tell you about me.
I'm gonna let you finish, but I want to answer this.
I'm not talking about how you feel. I'm talking about how I feel. Me, a black woman in this country.
But not in this city.
And I will run. And if you want
Look, I'm a New Yorker, not in this city. You cannot say that. You can't say that in this city.
I'm not talking about New York. I'm talking about actually
let her finish.
right here.
Let her finish.
I got a law degree, a master's, and 2 bachelors. Probably more education than all of y'all added up together at this table,
Fine
right?
by me.
And I have always been the least paid person on payroll at every institution I have worked in. And it's not
Even
because...
in the White House?
Even in the White House.
Well, whose fault is that?
Flared the nostrils, treaded lock in.
Not blinking either. I don't think he worked for George W. or Trump.
Well, guess what happened when I was there? DEI.
And you know the media ran with this nonsense. MSNBC, full meltdown mode. Twitter activists screaming into the void. CNN acting like Jennings just personally set them on fire. And this is exactly why these so-called news networks are collapsing under their own hypocrisy. They're not interested in reporting facts. They're just megaphones for whatever narrative keeps their audience in line. And they don't care about the truth, only narratives. But let's talk about why they really lost it. Wait, so which is it? You're overqualified but underpaid for every job? Or maybe, just maybe, it's not about the qualifications. Maybe it's about how you present yourself. If you're constantly waving degrees in people's faces, talking down to them and becoming irate when questioned, then maybe that attitude is part of the problem. Maybe people don't want to work with someone who thinks they're better than everyone else. Scott Jennings gave her a huge compliment.
Political appointees have one qualification. They serve at the pleasure of the president because the president believes that person's going to best carry out their agenda. That is the only qualification.
And to protect and defend the Constitution.
And that is the only qualification for a political appointee.
Competency doesn't matter.
Of course they're competent. Of course he believes they're competent. If he didn't believe they were competent, he wouldn't appoint them.
You're not being fair with that. You're not being fair with that response. She asked you a very simple question, yes or no. Look at the appointees. Do you believe DEI had anything to do with those appointees? Do you believe they were qualified? Do you think they would protect and defend the Constitution that represents all of the people of the United States of America?
I think Mark Rubio.
I think you all have literally no idea how the government works, is what I actually
do.
I actually think we share a lot of similarities in our journey. But I think you made it, and you are the most respected voice often at every room or every table you're in, not because of anything other than your talent and your work ethic. And that's all anybody ever is asking for, is for people with talent and work ethic to make it. And that's what I see in you. That's how I see you.
But let me tell you something about my story and my family's story, is that we have faced discrimination. I have faced discrimination. I just said I was the least paid person, even in this moment sometimes, to my counterparts. It is just the reality of the country we live in. And I'm not saying, I do believe I'm qualified. I know I'm qualified. You won't ever tell me I'm not qualified. But the system that I live in doesn't matter about my qualifications.
I don't agree, because
when 2025.
Oh, come
I don't think
on.
with Aaron.
You can't do
That's just not true. That's just not true.
There's a mountain of evidence that suggests that you are wrong.
Scott Jennings gave her a huge compliment. He said she didn't need DEI to succeed. She was smart, she was capable, and instead of taking that as a win, she got mad. Victimhood is a hell of a drug.
Either we want to have segregation or integration.
Y'all know who was way ahead of their time and saw this coming years ago? In the community, the black community, everyone in between scorned her, beat her down. She was actually running for a seat in California at the time, and she backed out early. She said the political environment was way too toxic, and she didn't want to do that to her family. And you know who saw this coming? Stacey.
If we don't want segregation, then we need to get rid of channels like BET and the BET Awards and the Image Awards, where you're only awarded if you're black. If it were the other way around, we would be up in arms. It's a double standard.
So you say there shouldn't be a BET channel?
No, I don't think so, no. Just like there shouldn't be a Black History Month.
She warned that the notion of DEI was a ticking time bomb. And she said that once people saw the flaws in it, they would turn on it. And now look who looks like the prophet.
Why is it so hard to understand why something like diversity, equity, inclusion needs to be a part of what we do in a system that never even acknowledged a group of people, never saw us as a human commodity, just literally never noticed who we were. And now here we are years later asking for some simple rights, some simple civility. She's asking to be paid like you get paid. She's asking to be acknowledged like you get acknowledged. And she knows that that is not the case because she is a black woman.
She had a high-ranking position in the White House of the United States of America. She is one of the most celebrated political operatives in the country.
There's a thousand.
Do you know how hard I had to work to get that?
Do you know how hard? Do you know how hard the son of a garbage man had to work at it? So I'm just telling you.
I'm not saying that. But
talent, and work ethic are everything, and that's why I think you're here.
It's not true. It's just not true. It's just not true.
He was just saying what Stacey already knew. This whole DEI game was bound to collapse. And Democrats, you got two choices right now. Admit you lost and you took an L, or keep running full speed off of the cliff. And maybe the earth's flat, and they'll double down because stupid is a choice. So let me ask y'all, if DEI is so great, why do its biggest champions keep saying they're struggling? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you got value from this, share it, like it, subscribe. That's it for today. But do us both a favor, please, before you go. Slam that like button, subscribe, and tap that bell like it owes you some money.
Listen.